Lindsey Vonn tore her ACL 9 days before the Olympics and is somehow saying she is going to race anyway. She said, I'm going to do it.
That's crazy.
What is your level of concern for our Olympic gold medal count now that Lindsey Vonn has a torn ACL but is still competing?
It's right below Fanatics, but still really high. And so right now, I actually think this is a great conversation to include Adam Schein in. Now, of course, as if you didn't know, of course you should know, Adam Schein hosts his daily show, Schein on Sports, weekdays at 8 a.m. Central on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Welcome to the program.
Man, I am so fired up to be with you guys.
Nice.
What's going on?
What could you accomplish with a torn ACL?
Nothing.
And what do you think about Lindsey Vonn saying, I'm still going to do the Olympics with a torn ACL?
So the last thing I'm ever going to do is doubt Lindsey Vonn, right?
Fair.
That's the last thing I'm going to do. Now, what could I accomplish? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, she wants to do it, represent our country, and, she's an unbelievable athlete. I was so sad when that story broke. I mean, I just felt terrible for her. I felt terrible for us. I mean,
and assumed she would be out.
Right. I mean, and I still think that'll be the case, right? Like on just logic and medicine and time and calendar and everything that goes into the mix. But I don't know. I'm skeptical. I think that's the best way to phrase it.
Now, a lot of discussion, of course, last week about Belichick. Now, Robert Kraft. I know there's Hall of Fame discussions to be had. I just want you to project a little bit. Do you think Mr. Brady is going to run into any such concerns?
So it's interesting. We had Gronk on today.
Okay.
And he's worried about everything. And,
I get it.
Yeah. And first of all, Gronk made the point, and he's right, and it sucks, that at the end of the day, Andy Reid, who's an absolute first ballot Hall of Famer, shouldn't and can't go in on the first ballot because Belichick did it. Yeah. And I think Andy Reid is unequivocally a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I think Andy Reid is a Mount Rushmore head coach in the National Football League. But clearly there's some kind of Patriot hate going on, and that's absurd because it's results oriented, and how you feel about a team or different players or an organization or a coach or an owner, that shouldn't factor in any way, shape, or form. I mean, Brady will get it on the first ballot. I mean, I look at Gronk, and to me, he's top 4 all time, right? I mean, debate anyone else. And
I think top 4 is fair.
Yeah, top 4. I mean, that's especially when you consider what he did, not only winning all those Super Bowls, but what he did in those big games, right? I mean, the touchdown against Seattle last time they played in the Super Bowl.
Tony G, Travis, Gronk, that's my 3 right now.
Yeah, I mean, those are the names, right?
Yeah. But you'll put Jason Witten in the Hall of Fame, too, then.
Oh, by the way.
Okay, otherwise we'd have a problem.
No. I have a very strong Jason Witten take. I think he's one of the most underrated players in NFL history.
Love it.
Really?
I think Jason Witten was a star, a stud, who did everything right as a player. Like, there are ball knowers who know how great Jason Witten was and everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, he is no doubt about it a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's 2 things. If you were to just say, hey, we're going to have a person and just put the NFL shield on him, just go ahead and put it on Jason Witten.
That's right.
He represents that.
That's right.
But I remember when I was covering, I was in the locker room, DeMarco Murray showed up, and they're like, hey, what do you want to do with your career? And he's like, every supplement that guy takes, I want to be just like him. Whatever he's doing, that's what I want.
That's what I want to do. I'll have more of what Jason Witten's doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you have hot takes on Darren Woodson as well? Because as you can imagine, in the Metroplex, we've been really upset that we feel like one of the heart and soul players of those 90s Cowboys
Hall
teams
of Famer.
has just nothing.
Hall of Famer. And I think, and it's interesting, and I think this is a weird psychology. Patriots are certainly part of this. Roger Craig, to me, is a no doubt about it Hall of Famer, and the fact that he's had to wait decades. And the Cowboys are in this group, too, where I think they say, okay, you can't have everybody in. Well, that's garbage. The reason those teams were great is because they had a Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame owner, all across the board. So I think for the Cowboys, who's in from that team? Everybody.
But if we could pause on that for just 1 second, this is an issue that I have with a few different players. Who's in the Hall of Fame from that defense? Deion Sanders, he was only there for the third one.
And you don't even associate him necessarily with that dynasty?
Exactly. And then they said the Great Wall of Dallas for the offensive line. Only Larry Allen is in the Hall of Fame, and he didn't even play in all 3 of those Super Bowls. So that's one of the issues that I have with this is I feel like people look at 92 Cowboys as an all-time great team, and that's an all-time great run, and there's not as many people in there as you would think.
100%, and that bothers me, and it just makes no sense. And Woodson absolutely, to me, is a Hall of Famer.
I like to tap into that idea real quick because we talk about the build-up and then the downfall. What do you think is the reason? Because the Chiefs, were so much fun on the way up. And then it's like we just get tired of them, and that's what it is, or we start finding the warts.
I think it's probably a combination of both. I think, let's talk Kansas City just in isolation for a second. I think in the last Super Bowl, when they were playing last year against Philly, right, I felt like they were just so lucky. I felt like they got every single break, right? And, Kincaid should have had the first down, and Josh Allen should have had the first down. So there was a legit Chiefs fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that kind of seeped in either consciously or subconsciously, depending upon what kind of fan you are. But I think everyone was kind of like, I'm done with Kansas City. And I understand that. Now, I'm one, I love greatness. I love sports history.
For sure.
Like, I'm always like, give me more Golden State Warriors. Give me the Cowboys in the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm a Yankees fan. Like, that's great. I'm sorry.
Well, as a all-time Rangers fan, but the late 90s, your Yankees teams broke our heart.
Crushed our souls.
96.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah, so 96. First time the Rangers have ever made the playoffs. They roll into Yankee Stadium, game 1. Juan Gonzalez is crushing. We win. I, as a younger sports fan, is like, we did it. We're here. We're going to dominate.
Same.
Over the next 4 seasons, in the span of 3 different playoff appearances, we lost 9 straight games to the Yankees and lost every single round while y'all were winning the World Series.
Every year we used to go head-to-head, and we would just find a way to win. It's funny. I actually compared. And again, diehard Yankees fan, and Patriots fans get very angry at me when I say this is the flukiest team I've ever seen in round 2. I don't know why. They get very angry at me. A lot of ways, they remind me of the 96 Yankees. Tony Tarasco obviously should have caught the ball. Jeffrey Mayer interfered with him. Baltimore was as good or better. Texas was as good or better. Yankees were down 0-2 to the Atlanta Braves. We got lucky and then capitalized on that luck.
The defending champ Braves at the time.
Yeah,
too,
100%. So I know Patriots fans get very angry when I say that, but listen, I think dynasties, they have, a place in sports. They're great for sports. Dallas fans understand that. I think it depends on the fatigue level, the likability of the teams. I think
that is kind of why the Chiefs lasted as long as they did in that
100%,
likability world. Yeah.
But I also think then towards the end, it was like, I'm sick of these guys. Enough is enough.
And off the field, they have a lot of unlikable things that have happened.
Sure. Sure.
What do you think? Somebody brought this up, and I've honestly never thought about this before. What would you think about the idea of the NFL inducting specific teams? Like whether it was...
I don't like that at all.
No?
I don't like it. A quick, hard no, because I understand why you're asking.
Yeah.
Especially because of what has happened with the Cowboys and the Patriots and the Niners. But I wouldn't induct a team. I think that's part of, if you go to the Hall of Fame, the history, the display. You see the dedication to the Cowboys in the 90s. So, even someone like Jimmy Johnson, the fact that it took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like our discussion with Mark Aguirre on Thursday when I was like, now people come into the arena, they look up and they see your name. Somebody's asking, who is that? What's his story?
Yes.
And that is part of that.
100%. I love that.
Roger Craig, since you mentioned him, is who immediately jumps to mind. I think people forget how intricate to those 49ers, especially the first half, the pre-Jerry Rice part, he was to those teams.
He changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was really the first dual threat back. And, he walked so Marshall Faulk could run. And Christian McCaffrey.
I love that.
He was those guys before they were those guys. So it's always bothered me. Our friend Sal Palantonio is the one who's presented, it's now in the past tense, Roger Craig to the Hall of Fame. I hope they were paying attention to Sal, because I really think he belongs, Roger Craig, in the Hall of Fame.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb since you said this feels like a fluky run to the Super Bowl by the Patriots. How are you thinking that Seattle is going to maybe just control this game?
So here's my final score. I'm going to start with the ends. 24-17.
Okay.
Because I think Seattle wins. I think Seattle covers. I think it's a one-score game. I think it's relatively close in air quotes. I just don't know if I'm ever going to feel like New England's going to win. I think all year long, tell me if you guys agree, I had Rams, Seattle as the two best teams. Like from October on, those were the two best teams.
I had the Rams.
Yeah. By the way, preseason I had Rams Bills.
Okay, all right.
Like I didn't get off that at all until they lost. Like I was all in on those two teams.
He's a Seahawks hater.
Yeah.
So,
are you? I have. I did a top 14 list for all the playoff teams and forgot Seattle until I got to 10. I was
That's
like,
amazing.
oh crap, yo. So because it's like Sam Darnold.
So I've labeled him a hater.
Yeah. So
Hater.
Yeah.
Why do you hate Seattle?
Well, I mean, I'm not a big Sam Darnold guy. This is actually, he's finally showing up. He's doing his thing. Good luck to him. I just didn't believe in him beginning of the season. The rest of the team is the definite difference between that.
You know, for me, which is interesting, I've always been a Sam Darnold guy. And, I kind of built the bandwagon. Like, loved him out of USC. I think, if you look it up in the dictionary, there's actually a word. He got jetsed. It's the act of going to the Jets and then becoming an inferior player because you're wearing that uniform.
Yes.
You're poorly coached. It's a disaster.
It's true.
And they got rid of him, I thought, prematurely. I could not believe that they drafted Zach Wilson, traded Sam Darnold. Not that he would have become this in New York, but I think he was better than their plan B, which was Zach Wilson, one of the biggest busts in draft history. I'm happy for Darnold. I'm super happy for him. He got his PhD in QB play from Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Sat that 1 year. Goes to Minnesota. They should have kept him. We first guessed that. And, I am thrilled for him and for the Seahawks where he is right now.
How many other franchises do you think fit that bill? Because immediately I thought you could get Browns.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For a while, it was Panthers.
Yeah, that's true. How many other organizations are there like that, do you suppose?
I mean, I think they're about to hit the jackpot, but the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see that.
They've kind of been snake bit for a minute. What could go wrong goes wrong in epic proportion. But I think it's Jets clearly one.
Would you put Browns
number two.
And then Cowboys.
See, and
you
that's
get all the love.
the
and all the
unfortunate
adoration.
part of it is the Cowboys sit in the middle. They always sit in the middle, and that is the most agitating part of this team.
I had a pretty strong Dallas take going into this season, and I will always, it's one of those where it never happened, so I'll never know if I was right, but I'll always believe it. All off season, Dallas was my pick to win the NFC East. All off season, Dallas, the Micah Parsons trade, poof, I was out.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Gone.
That makes some sense.
Gone.
I get you.
And that defense was never able to recover. They were never able to recover. Hopefully.
And I'll take you a step further. If they would have made that trade in March, maybe we could have had a discussion about it.
Maybe so.
We had Micah on last year on Radio Row, and he wanted to sign a contract instantly to help the team salary cap-wise. You could debate if that's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
But that was the time to do it. We had Stephen Jones on Schein on Sports, and he painted the picture that, he was going to come back. And, I loved the Pickens trade. I thought that was
very smart.
Coup. It was brilliant. And the rest is history.
Yep.
There you go. You just heard him mention it. Adam Schein, Schein on Sports, weekdays, 8 a.m. Central on Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. We had Katie Nolan on yesterday.
Katie's great.
So we've been loading people up from Mad Dog Sports Radio. Thank you very much for the time.
You guys are the best. Appreciate it.